Welcome back to the show, everybody. We are here with the Falcon and Winter Soldier after show right here on Han Talks First. I am your host, Han, and of course, every week I am joined by my girlfriend, Chris. Or in today is Lucy featuring I Am Rice Krispie.
Yes,
She
so
run
right
away?
now, yeah, she's on. No, not over there. I don't know if you can see her right there on the
I
mirror.
can
She's
kind of
right
see her,
there.
yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
Look at it. Yeah, she's having a little bit of a moment. She's checking herself out in the mirror, diva.
So we did it, everybody. We made it through one whole new episode, a whole new
Whole
season
season.
of a new Marvel show, and it's over. Falcon Winter Soldier. It's over. If you haven't watched it yet, this is obviously a spoiler discussion, as the topic suggests. So go watch it and then come back and listen to this. Or if you don't care, you want to get it spoiled for you, I guess that's what we're here for.
There she
So
is.
there she is. There's Lucy, the cat.
Yes,
Lucifer, the kitty. So pretty, so beautiful. So I can't wait to hear Lucy's thoughts today
Oh,
and Chris's thoughts, because we haven't really talked about it yet.
right.
And so, and we'll of course hear from you guys. If you're watching live and joining us today, tell us what you guys thought of the finale and the whole show as a whole. We'll share our thoughts. We'll kind of talk about this episode, and then in the the latter half of today's show, we'll discuss and kind of review the entire series and how it felt and how we want to review it. It's Saturday, so I hope you guys had a great week and are enjoying your weekend so far.
Yes.
So, baby, why don't we start with you, and let's get your general thoughts on today's episode.
Just the finale episode?
Yeah.
Okay, first off, I'm glad that we went right off the bat with the reveal of Sam as Captain America. That made me so happy, and the suit looks absolutely incredible on Anthony Mackie. And I love that it's kind of a mix. I mean, I'm sure it's based on the Sam Wilson Captain America suit, but look at him! Look at him go! That's the boy. There he is. Like, it's Captain America with wings. Like, what else more could you want? It suits him so well. He looks like a comic book character come to life, but like not in a ridiculous way, which is hard to do when you're literally wearing the colors of the flag.
Right.
And like I was a little bit weirded out at first by like the fabric that goes into his goggles, but look in this photo and like when he's doing his whole speech, which we'll get to, which is incredible, he just looks it makes sense. Like, that is his suit. Like, I would buy that it was custom made for him, which it was, but like, imagine the people at Wakanda being like, oh my god, we get to design the Black Captain America suit.
Oh,
Hell
right.
yeah. Like, they're like, yes, the excellence, we shall bring it to you. Represent everyone, literally, because you are Captain America and nobody can tell you otherwise. And I love that that's what the show is saying. Like, why shouldn't people in America be represented by Captain America? Like, especially people who have been overlooked so much and like oppressed and disenfranchised so much. Like, is this? I will get into like a slight bit of a rant because apparently on Rotten Tomatoes right now, it's like the finale's at like a 56%, which is crazy.
For critic or audience?
For, I think it's not. I don't remember which one, but like apparently the average score is like
still, that's low.
8. It is very low. No, I'm saying it's way too low. Like, I feel like as finales for Marvel TV shows go, this has been the best one. I mean, sure, it's the second show, but like there was barely any like loose ends, and if it was because they're building up to now revealed the 4th Captain America movie and a season 2 possibly, which makes total sense. Like, it's not like a limited series and then they just cut out half the stuff because they couldn't record it due to COVID. Like, this was the intended finale, and it feels like it. There's a certain finality to it, like, while still having like cliffhangers and reveals and all that you could want from like a mystery thriller show. Well, not mystery, but like a thriller that has mysteries within it. I just thought that it was handled really well. I am sad though. I didn't want Carly to die. I know that people will be mad at me because I'm still like, she's so young and she's just so misguided. And I feel a lot like Sam because you feel for her that she's just very misguided, and her goals are good, but she just got led through like a very dark path. And even her followers are like, yeah, I don't know about that. And I totally get that too. But at the same time, I'm just like, she was sure. She just didn't deserve to die, though.
Yeah. So did you have anything else for your general thoughts?
Oh, I love the coloring and the shots that were done in the show. Like, the use of Falcon's skill set as Captain America, like the translation of that was absolutely incredible. The use of red wings. Now he has multiple babies. And the whole thing with like throwing the shield, picking it up, shooting through like a helicopter. Like, it was incredible, like cementing his wings down to make up for the strength that he doesn't have because of the super serum that he did not take. Like, he doesn't need the super serum. Like, he has the super serum in his brain, pretty much.
Right. I think
Like,
that's one of the things that makes him really special.
Right? Like, he is the everyday man, which makes sense because he's the representation. He's not like this ideal. He is ideal because he is a good person and he is smart and he's wanting to help people. But he isn't like something unattainable, which is also amazing.
Yeah.
I cried so much with this episode too. I mean, and I was trying really hard not to. I mean, you know me, I'll cry about anything. I'll see a cute dog and I cry. But like, this episode really had like a really nice emotional balance of like action and intrigue, but then be like really sweet or really sad, and just at the end so happy. I'm just so happy that they gave them a happy ending of them just like hanging out.
Yeah, me too.
And more like Uncle Bucky and Uncle Sam kind of thing. But
right.
Sorry, I dropped my phone. Anyway, I loved the whole like showing Isaiah while Sam is giving his amazing speech, which we'll get into. Them going to the museum and like the history being told and him being like represented and like acknowledged for his sacrifices was super emotional. Then Bucky, like, I mean, I feel like there's a lot of symbolism that it's already amazing that he like finally told the old man about his son. And I'm shocked that they showed so much. I know that they didn't like finish the whole conversation, but like him being shown telling him that it was his fault that the son's dead and that he didn't have any choice, and just like their facial expression. Yeah. And then like him going to check on him at the restaurant, and then he gave the book back to the therapist, which is super sweet, not only because he finished his mission, but because that also shows that he's letting go of like holding on so tightly to Steve as like a crutch, because he used to say that he would look to him to define who he is and like what he like Steve thought he was. So now he's confident enough that he is that person and he doesn't need to like hold on to this so like desperately.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. So there's just a lot.
There is a lot, and we'll probably have a little longer episode today, guys, but I'll share my thoughts real quick on my overall general thoughts of everything. And mostly, like Chris was saying, the first thing I noticed was the coloring of this episode. The
gorgeous
they used, and they use a lot of what's called high key lighting in this, which I have a bunch of shots to show as well later. But the coloring and the lighting was very I loved it in this one. It was my favorite part. And then, of course, there was a lot of good moments, like the reveal of him being Captain America, and he states it at the very beginning, and the new outfit, and parts with Bucky. I did have some criticisms for this one. My favorite is still last week's episode, the one before this. I think that was the best episode of the series. Not to say this one was not good, but it was very good. There was a lot of things that I got wrong in my predictions. There was some things I got right in my predictions.
Very right.
We'll talk about those too. But a lot of the characters were like fully developed in this, and there was great story arcs, especially for Isaiah and for Sam and Bucky especially, but also a little bit for Sarah, Sam's sister. and a little bit for Zemo as well. I don't know. It was just it was a very well thought out show, and this episode kind of put a period on all of the themes they were talking about with like race and history and politics in our world, and how we actually can now relate again to the MCU, because for a little while there it kind of branched away from our own
Like
world. Like once they started
yeah.
introducing Guardians of the Galaxy, it started
It got really
being
fun, but too like outlandish.
yeah, a little disconnected, a little bit more cosmic. And then after that 5-year period, I was kind of worried it would really, after Endgame, when it was 5 years later, I really thought it was going to be kind of hard to relate it to modern times, but they did it, and they did it with these TV shows, both WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier. But overall, generally, I like this episode. So, baby, do you want to talk about the colors and the palette and lighting for this?
Oh my god!
This week's episode. So, I have some images here. So check it out. Here's just a couple.
Oh my god, that shot with everyone turning to evac, it's so gorgeous. Look at it. This looks like concept art.
I know. And for the audio listeners, just a PSA real quick. I know you can't see the images. I apologize. We'll try to be descriptive, but if you want to see them, you can check out the YouTube. But we all watch the episode, so you know what we're talking about. But when the people left the UN, was it the UN?
It was a GRC.
GRC. So when they left that, and all the senators and stuff were running down the stairwell, just beautiful red lighting. And so this was beautiful. Yes, this was one that stuck out to me. This is very,
it looks very Spider-Verse kind of.
Yeah. Well, you know what it reminds me of is the Vatican stairwell. I don't know if you remember what that looked like. And that's just kind of what I got from it. But great shot, and this is just one of many examples of fantastic lighting. And here was another one. When Sam was hunting down, I'm blanking on her name. Carly, yes.
Oh yeah, this was really cool.
So this one was really cool, but also really funny to me.
Oh, when he's standing like this.
Wait, I'm gonna go to full screen on you real quick.
He was like, basically like, wait, hold on. When that happened, I remember just saying, "Mom said it's my turn on the Xbox."
That's what it looks like.
I just wanted to be so serious, but I'm just like, Mom said it's my turn on the Xbox.
Because he just comes around the corner really quickly and then just stands there.
He's like, imagine he just T-posed. Like, I know I'm just like memeing right now, but like, this is so funny. But it's so cool.
He just did the miniature Keanu Reeves stance.
Yes!
It's so funny. But
so sorry, that was a horrible laugh.
The reason why I chose this one to show off is because of the backlighting, and this is that example of the high key lighting I was mentioning to you guys. And it's basically when you just rely on shadows, and to get a silhouette of the new Captain America is really important, because one thing that Marvel and Star Wars both do with their characters is they make sure that they are iconic in the way that if you just saw their silhouette, you would know who that is.
Because that's good character design.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's something that Kathleen Kennedy said back in 2014 when they were making The Force Awakens. And it's something that stuck with me. It's something I look out for. So great shot. And here's another one just to represent the colors. Of course, any shots where they were outside with the police lights and the moonlight was really beautiful. And it was throughout this whole episode. The colors were so good.
Yes, and I love that.
Like this too. Like when they were when he busted into the Jeep, whatever it was. Yeah.
I was gonna say, well, multiple things. I was gonna make a joke about the low-key lighting and be like, "Oh, we're getting so high-key lighting before the low-key show." So, I don't know. But I keep seeing like the blue and red and like pinkish red. Like lights, and I'm like, buy lighting, but then I'm like, oh right, it's Captain America colors, right, of course, and then police sirens, of course, but I'm just like, buy lighting. It was just, I love those colors together. It just looks so aesthetically pleasing, and it's almost like 3D, because those are the colors that it used to be, and so it just feels kind of both modern but also slightly retro in like a weird way. Like I don't know. It's just I'm wearing like a pastel version of that color scheme pretty much.
Right. I see someone has joined us again, and it's been a
Oh,
long time.
hello.
Luca says hello. It's nice to see you guys again.
Yes,
Nice to see you here again. Welcome back. Been a while. Thanks for joining us. So yeah, the colors overall, the coloring of this was fantastic, and a lot of it was practical, which is what I really love. And it wasn't just the colors for me, but also the cinematography. There's a shot
choreography, like the fighting.
Oh yes, yeah. The second unit really did a good job with this, especially the parts with Sam.
Yes.
All of his action and stuff like that.
Like his flips and like, oh my god, the fight with Carly is so good. Because I mean, it's kind of reminding me of like I can do this all day, but like he really just wants to de-escalate the fight, and Carly's so desperate. It kind of seems kind of like the Winter Soldier where Bucky and Cap are fighting, and I'm just like,
yeah, yeah, definitely. And well, let's talk about the new suit, since that's one of the big things that happened in this episode is his new suit. So, what were your first thoughts when you saw it?
I love the placement of the colors.
Actually, one second. Do you have a fan on?
Oh, it's my PC. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I was wondering if.
Should I just?
No, it's okay. I thought you could turn it off, but then you want to be here, so it's okay.
Right.
So go ahead. What were you saying?
I think the placement of the colors is really nice. On the wings especially, I love how it's like red on the outside with like a little bit of like silver going on. Then it has a blue panel, and then the wing panels are in white, kind of like feathers. It looks so nice, and like the suit goes like from white to blue to with the red kind of corsety looking stripes down.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And with the white boot with the red, I'm just like, this is so nice. I love the gloves. I love like the shoulder area. I love that it's so different.
It's a little bit like the original Captain America outfit.
Right, because it's like a brighter blue with like the stripes going down. Like it's very classic superhero, but modernized. But not modernized in like a bleaker way where they just make it like less vibrant colors and it's just more like stealth. Sam is like, you're gonna see me, and that's fine. Like it's a man flying at you. Like
for me, when I first saw it, I thought it looked a little wonky. The first shot.
Right. The first couple seconds it looks weird because you're just not used to it.
But then it grew on me, especially about a little after halfway through when he was giving his speech. It looked fantastic on the street.
Because imagine if they had done this scene, which is so like impactful, but the suit had been just like ridiculous. It would not have worked out.
Right.
But he makes this work, and it's in this shot, like you can see that it's not just like some costume someone threw together. Like the material looks quality. The glasses look like it's like a molded glass and not just some like flimsy plastic. Like this is
and
3D.
They can see through smoke.
Right, exactly. Like it's functional, stylish, and is representative of who he is. Like I love like the 3D detailing, like this stitching. You can see it. It's just really like the attention to detail is really nice. They made it work really well. I was kind of scared that it would look kind of weird, and they would just or just go ahead and add like some blue to his regular suit since it's already like silver, kind of whitish with red. Or they were going to be too scared of using blue and it'd just be like kind of like a US agent kind of color scheme.
Yeah.
Leaning more into like the Black Falcon. And I'm just like, I mean, but he's Captain America. He can do whatever he wants. That's another reason why I really like the contrast and using like a lot of like white on him, because it just like stands out so nicely. And like it just suits him so well. Like it really makes him pop.
Excuse me.
Also, speaking of John Walker, I know that Luca just mentioned him. I don't consider that a redemption arc. I was scared that he was going to.
Can you read it for the audio listeners?
Oh, yes, sorry. So Luca said, what did you think of the John Walker redemption arc? So I don't really see it as a redemption arc. I see it as him doing one thing like less heroic because he sees himself as a hero and he wants to be that person. He attempts to save the bus from falling out of the building with the hostages, but I don't see that as him being like, oh, I am the ultimate good person. It's more like, oh, I'm Captain America, and Captain America is supposed to save people, so I should save these people to make people forget that I murdered another person. It's kind of how it felt to me. Like, he feels like he is that person. So he's doing that to prove himself as that person to himself and to others.
Yeah.
Because right after, he just goes and becomes U.S. agent with the help of late Madam Hydra. So I don't see it as him being like a hero, literally. If anything, he's going to be like an anti-hero in his head. But I feel like he still isn't the best person.
Right. Yeah, I was a little disappointed with his redemption arc, which I wouldn't say that either.
Right.
But yeah,
I would have been mad if you gave him that.
I was very thrilled at the post-credit scene last episode when he was making a shield, and I thought he was going to come back and be like another bad guy, and there would be like this three-way fight. But
that would have been cool.
He ended up just kind of being a can't think of the word for it, but a rebel without a cause type thing, and
like neutral.
I don't know.
Thing.
Yeah, he was.
It was weird that he was helping them, like, and like along with them, because like he's so selfish. Like that's one of his main character traits, that he thinks he is the Captain America. Yeah. So much that he made himself a new shield when he was revoked the title, and made himself like keep the suit and all that. Like I just feel like it was such a petty and like selfish and just very persistent thing for him to do. For them to be like, oh, but look at him, he's helping them. I'm like, would he do that?
Yeah, I don't think he would. I think his character kind of got lost. I totally lost interest as soon as he showed up in this episode.
Yeah.
Mostly because I don't think that the creators did a good job enough to make me like him.
Oh, I don't think he's supposed to be likable at all. The thing is, it's so weird that now they're like, oh, yeah, he's going to help them. I'm like, no, this isn't like Zemo helping them. Like, this is not like a charming character. Because like with Zemo, you can see him be like reluctant, but he got out of prison because of them, and he's going to do whatever. And he is the one person, so he kind of gets that enjoyment of like, oh, they need me. But like John Walker doesn't need any of that. Like,
yes,
John Walker is bitter at Sam and Bucky, so like why would he? Sure, he has the common enemy that he wants to go beat up Carly, but aside from that,
yeah. And Luca went on to say that he would be a better U.S. agent than he would Captain America. So I think that was the goal. I think that's a good thing to point out too. I agree with that, and
definitely.
I think
whether it took to the last episode to do that. Sorry.
Yeah, me too. And I want to jump back to the suit real quick because I didn't get to share my thoughts on it. But I think that there's Lucy.
She looks so like.
She's so cute. So with the suit, one thing I wanted to point out that I thought was pretty important was Bucky commissioned the suit for Sam, and why I think that's important is because. That means it was Bucky's idea to make it the Stars and Stripes and to make it Captain America, which was a sign of Bucky approving of Sam. But also it took Bucky to help make Sam Captain America. And I don't know, there's something about that was really powerful to me because
like the support.
Yeah, and like if he hadn't have done that,
Sam would not
this episode would have been very different. Like he just had that talk with Isaiah last week, and then he opened the case and he finally saw it was Captain America, and he finally probably made that decision at that point. Like, well, if Bucky agrees, like, then I got to do it because Bucky's my pal, you know. And so yeah, that was it I wanted to say about it. But it's also Wakandan tech, so it's really powerful.
Right.
And
it's powerful in multiple ways.
I like that he has the wings and the shield. I think that's cool.
Exactly. So like that. I was kind of scared that they would try to take the wings away and be like, oh, he's Captain America now, not the Falcon. I'm like, yeah, but his whole skill set revolves around flying.
Right.
Like,
'Cause he's
don't depower him if you're not gonna give him something to make up for it. Like,
right.
I'm glad that they let him keep the wings, and he's making really good use of them. I don't know. I think it's just a perfect addition how like everything came together to make him his own Captain America. Like he is sure he's taking out the mantle, but he's not trying to become Steve. Like that's not what he's here to do.
Right.
Like he's here to do the best job that he is able to do as himself.
Right. Definitely. So
which I really appreciate. Sorry.
We already touched on U.S. Agent, but was there anything else you wanted to say about that? Like maybe where could this be going with that relationship with that woman?
Okay. Oh, before I go into that, since we were talking about the outfit looks way better in black. And it's comic book accurate, yes.
Oh yeah.
Definitely. I wish the red was a burgundy color or like slightly darker. I do like the tone of it. And I like the details on the side, like on his belt and like the side of his body and his gloves. But I feel like if the whole part of the red was like those reds instead of the one in the middle, it would have been really cool. Like here it looks really good, but it still looks navy since it's still Cap technically.
He still looks so funny.
He looks so yeah.
His face is so funny.
This suit, the Captain America suit that he has, is kind of ill-fitting.
Yes.
Like it looks fabricy because you see like Steve Rogers' suit, it's like the like pleathery but like tactical with mesh detail kind of look. And this just looks like, oh, he put like a boiler suit and put some stars and stripes that were pleather on top. And then I'm like, no, that looks like a onesie. No. It does not look good in my opinion. But yeah, his US agent suit, huge upgrade. Like look at the material. Like I feel like the pants are similar, but like look at the arm pieces. Like and like the star A thing, like it looks much better like in the more monochromatic color scheme. I do feel like he's going to be in the Thunderbolts or Dark Avengers, and that they're gonna try to like get a couple more people. And of course, I mean, since Zemo is probably gonna be broken out by his butler and stuff, like probably is gonna be part of it and he can lead them or something, but I feel definitely they're building up to that. Yeah, or something definitely. In that regard. Like I wouldn't be surprised if US Agent is one of the antagonists or obstacles in Captain America 4 or season 2 or anything of that style.
Yeah. I'm not looking forward to seeing him again, actually.
Yeah.
I didn't really care for this character. But the actor was good.
He did great.
I realized it's the same guy who was in 22 Jump Street. Do you remember? The guy who was friends with Channing Tatum, the football player. It's the same guy.
Oh my god, he's Zook.
Yeah.
Zook the bazooka. Oh my god. They're like gonna break.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Why did they? Okay, he does look okay with longer hair, but I mean with shorter hair, but I feel like how he looks in Overlord and then like in 22 Jump Street, he looks way better.
He does.
Like definitely. Long hair suits him because he has such a blocky face. Okay, we're not going to talk about that right now. Sorry.
Well, I would take this second to remind anyone who is watching this video, be sure to subscribe to the channel because we do lots of great other videos here. Even though Falcon and Winter Soldier is over, we'll be coming back with Loki and then Star Wars every Monday on Holly Talks First. And if you're checking this out on the podcast, be sure to subscribe or follow, rate and review if you like the show. It helps out so much. And like this video if you're watching live. Thank you so much. So, what do you want to talk about next?
Oh, do you want to talk about the power broker?
Oh, Miss Sharon Carter.
Dun dun dun. Miss Power Broker. Oh my god. Like, I know that people were like predicting this and whatnot, but it was such a weird way to reveal it. Just like, but the thing is, nobody knows because Carly didn't tell anyone she died because Sharon just straight up shot her.
So, yeah,
But she still took the part in, and now she's gonna be like extra powerful and sell government secrets. I'm like, I mean, good for you, girl, but like, what? What would your grandma say? Your aunt? Your aunt. What would Sharon say? Peggy.
It was weird to see this character become kind of a bad guy because
Mm.
in Winter Soldier, she was so was it Winter Soldier or was it Civil War?
I mean, she was in both.
She was in both? Okay, but in those,
No, Civil
okay, it was
War.
Winter Soldier. Because in Winter Soldier, that was when S.H.I.E.L.D. was revealing themselves as Hydra, and she was very much willing to fight against that with Captain America. And now she's kind of become that evil that she was
Right.
fighting against. And I feel like she kind of based her militia off of what Hydra was doing with, like, Hydra had the Hail Hydra, and this one has one power, one people, or whatever.
Yeah, one world.
One people, one world. Yeah, whatever it was. And I don't know, it's just weird for me to see her like that because
It's
it didn't really fit the
weird.
character for me. That post-credit scene where she's on the phone or whatever and says, like, this
So
is gonna be it
sneaky.
or whatever. It was, and she got the pardon, so now she's able to walk around freely and do her business,
Right.
whatever her machinations will be. But I don't know. I guess the big question is, do you think this will lead into a Falcon and Winter, or a Captain America and Winter Soldier 2, season 2, or, like, will this lead into Armor Wars?
Probably both, because I mean, she is the power broker. Like, she could pretty much do anything, and now she was literally just granted clearance for, like, even more, like, not just like product and, like, money and influence, but now, like, literal secrets that could make or break, like, the fabric of society, pretty much. Like, it's a huge increase in power for the power broker. Also, it was said that, like, she had been dusted, like, because she is this, like, pretty much, like, crime lord. Like, did she fake that? Did she fake being dusted because she was undercover anyway? Because it's a little bit weird to amass that kind of power in 5 years. And she had been undercover for way longer than that. So, like, it's enough time to make a secret identity for, like, of course, more than 5 years. But, like, I definitely think she probably lied about that. Because how can you prove it?
But it makes me wonder, why didn't she take the serum?
Right. Or maybe she has. And she's just being undercover too.
Yeah, but we do know that
she wanted it back from Carly.
Right. And we do know that she is definitely a bad girl. I mean, she got that one guy with acid, right?
Right, that was crazy.
Completely melted him, and killed Carly without hesitation. So she's got something in mind. I'm very curious as to what it is.
Sharon from Mortal Kombat too. I'm kidding.
And I think she's gonna want to break this guy out of jail, Mr. Zemo.
Oh yeah.
And
dude, me too. I'm kidding.
Just Zemo. I was very, speaking of Zemo, I was a little disappointed with how it kind of ended with him, where it really didn't end. He just got put in jail, and I mean, with, like, the whole promotion of the show, I was under the impression that it was going to be mainly Zemo as the bad guy, which I'm not butthurt about, but I am disappointed in some ways, because, and it's also my own fault because I fell asleep during episode 3, so I didn't see the part where he put on the mask.
Right.
And apparently it happened there, but I didn't know, so I just assumed they skipped that part. So
the thing is, it was so heavily promoted because it's such a cool, like, shot and everything. And it would make sense, like, what if he had been the leader of the Flag Smashers or something like that, even though, I mean, he's that powerful that he could do that from jail. So, like, it does make sense. At the same time, I feel like they're building up for more. In this series, he still had, like, the last laugh because he got to, basically, he sent off the rest of the Flag Smashers to be blown up.
Right.
That was by his hand, indirectly so, but
yeah.
I feel like they're just leaving it at that because they couldn't do that much in the finale. Like, he can't bust out and do something else. I feel like it would just be very convoluted for a finale, especially since it wasn't, like, it was around just, like, right under the hour again, right?
Yes, it was like 51 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if they would have been able to do all of that and like still find a good stopping point for Zemo in like less than 9 minutes.
True.
So I'm kind of glad that they'll leave it for like a new movie or season 2 and then fully expand on that.
Right. By the way, if there's any mods watching, if you would please block KZ Charum 901, that'd be fantastic. It happened to me before already. I don't want promotion for anything else on the show except for Han Talks First, and especially when they're trying to get people to pay for something. So, and if it's someone on Twitch, so if there's a Twitch mod out there, that'd be fantastic. And as far as the person who put their promotion out there, please don't come on this channel again. I would appreciate that. So, sorry, moving on. I know you wanted to talk about Sam's speech. So,
oh my god, yeah.
Why don't you start us off?
I thought this was done so well. This speech, Sam is such a great talker. I mean, we've seen him, like, he is a master at talking to people, expressing himself, and also getting a point across. Just, he has a way with words. Just, I mean, I already basically said the same thing in 3 different ways because I'm not that great with words, but, you know, I'm not Captain America. But it's just so important what he said, not only for the world of the show, but like in real life. Like, this is a very poignant show in more ways than one. Like, that would be a lot to get into right now, but he is talking not only about the cause of Carly, still keeping her message alive, and basically trying to make it so that what she did and like her death wasn't in vain. Like, also him carrying her, like, he just looks like an angel bringing down like this being, or I'm just like, it was such a beautiful shot. And then he just goes ahead and is like, hey, don't call these people terrorists, because you're the ones who are also bringing in armed people to send people away and take people away from the homes that they were given, strip them away from like their food and rights, pretty much. Like, to them, you are the terrorists. Like, they have the power to feed and house all these people, but they're deciding to just take them away and put them somewhere and be like, you figure it out. Like, yeah. That's the whole cause of the problem, because they're able to do it, but they decide not to because it's not their problem, or so they think. But like, what Carly wanted them to do is to reconsider and be like, hey, everyone could have decent living conditions.
Yeah, and I liked how you put it. Like, he kind of made sure that what she was fighting for, the good way, was being finished, and that he would speak out on it. And it was like, I mean, anytime someone sticks it to the man, I love it. So I love that speech too. It was great. You know, he really stuck it to the senators.
He was like calling them out, like being like, hey, she was right. There is actually something you can do. And Sam, as a person of influence, was being like, hey, right now they're filming me. We're on a public platform. I am Captain America, so I'm going to speak for America and be like, and for the world, pretty much. Like, help these people. You're able to. Don't pretend you can't.
Right. And it was very important, the part when the senator was just like, oh, you don't understand, and then walked away. Like, that's the mentality of those people to civilians. Like, I've been talking about for the longest, we've watched this show. It's about how America treats its civilians, how it treats its soldiers, how it treats its African American community, or any, you know, demographic that's not white people, and
or like wealthy, right? Even like
wealthy, yes, wealthy people too, and
people in power, like anyone who's like privileged in some way. Like, if you're disprivileged, they're not going to think about you. So he's being like, people matter no matter like who they are, or how much money they have, or what the color of their skin is. It's just it's common sense, but to these people, it's not viable because they don't care, because they don't get affected.
It made me that speech made me want to like stand up and like clap. It was really good. And the part right before it, when everyone's cheering for him, and the one guy is just like, that's Black Falcon, and the other guy is just like, no, that's Captain America. I was like, oh my gosh,
Did
felt
somebody
that
call
one.
him Captain Falcon, or was that just us?
Someone did call him Captain Falcon.
Because I'm
Yeah.
just like, I wanted him to just say Falcon Punch at one point. I'm like, that would have been beautiful.
Someone did. I forgot where that was, but that was pretty funny too. Yeah. So and then the part. This is going to segue into the next thing we'll talk about. But when he was giving the speech, and then it showed Isaiah looking at him through the television, and he was like, "Wow, he proved me wrong.
Right.
That we have a hope here. Like Sam's my Luke Skywalker. He's my hope."
Yeah. And the thing is, like, when Isaiah was watching him and everyone was watching him, he's like, I know that some people are not going to like me and that they're not going to understand what I'm doing, and that he is a black man wearing the stars and stripes. Like, some people are going to hate him regardless. Some people are just going to be like, what is he doing?
Right.
But, like, that's why he understands. Like, they told him he doesn't understand anything, but he's lived through not only the dusting, but like living as a black man in America, and then being a superhero, and then being like unacknowledged and taken for granted, pretty much. Like, he knows.
Right.
And he's working so hard to make a difference and like save people and make people's lives better. And that's why he's standing up to this, because he sees injustice and he'll fight. So I feel like Isaiah was seeing people react to him and seeing themselves in Sam. And he's like, oh, he's going to make things different. It's going to probably be an adjustment period, and some people are not going to agree. But it doesn't mean it's not worth fighting for. Like, Sam said that, like, the last episode. These Marvel shows are getting really nice quotes, like the whole what is grief and not love persevering, and what if let's not take the suffering, be for nothing, and keep fighting. I forget the exact wording, but it was such a like good phrase. Like, he's just basically saying, like, yes, it's been bad, but if we do nothing, nothing's gonna change, and it'll just be for nothing.
Yeah,
like, he can make a difference, so why not? He's willing to put in the work to make things better, not only for himself, but for literally anyone else, for his people, like, of America and the world as a whole. Like, literally for anyone who looks like him or feels resented by him or can look up to him.
And that is our Captain America. And I wanted to transition into...
Sorry, let's just say, like, the museum display for Isaiah was so
That's
nice.
what I was going to transition into.
Oh, sorry, I thought you meant, like, that was the show, and I'm just like, wait, no, there's so much more to talk about. Sorry.
So yeah, when he showed him his monument at the Captain America Museum, that was so beautiful. And he was finally not... This was the one moment where, when Sam asked him before, like, are you ever, like, not stubborn? And, like, this is the moment that he finally, like, let his guard down and became vulnerable.
Oh my god, and when he hugs him and he's, like, crying, I'm like, oh, look at him, look at his face. this is the part that, like, I broke down. I'm like, yeah, they got me.
It was so sweet. It was so sweet. Like, and his line, and when he said, and now they'll never forget what you did for this country.
Oh my god. And, like, I don't remember where it was posted, but they were saying some of the text that's on, like, behind here, and it was like, for too long his story went untold and, like, not appreciated or something. Like, it was like,
yeah,
this wasn't known to anyone and it was pretty much buried, but this is what happens. Acknowledge it, respect it, and never forget, because this is a true part of history. Like, he lived through that. He's a living part of history. It was so nice. And the thing is, this just shows, like, yes, there's parts of history that people aren't the proudest of, but, like, people lived through it, so, like, don't delete it, because then you're just going to cause more pain for the people who come next, because if nobody acknowledges it, how are they going to learn?
Right. Exactly. Yeah, it was such a good moment. And Luke asks a somewhat relative question. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not it. Let me see here. Speaking of Isaiah, we have so many young Avengers: Eli Bradley, Billy, Tommy, America, and Kate Bishop.
So, and Kamala Khan too. I believe is she a young Avenger, or she's just by herself? I don't remember. But I'm so excited for Young Avengers.
It's definitely happening. Even though they haven't announced it, it's happening. And you also forgot about Iron Maiden.
Oh, really?
Iron Woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that as well.
Ironheart. Yeah, she's coming in Armor Wars.
Ironheart. I don't. Iron Maiden is a band.
I kind of wish that there was an Iron Maiden in
Rocky the Hurricane.
Sorry,
Wait, is that the same band?
there is one. No.
Okay, never mind. What were you saying?
Isn't that like, oh my God, Scorpion?
That's right. Yes, the Scorpion.
Fatality, babe.
Here I am.
Oh my God.
Okay.
I don't even know if you can sing to an Iron Maiden song, can you?
Probably not. I don't know.
That's not.
Anyway.
Wait. No. Hold on. I'm thinking of a couple songs, but like I don't know if I'm wrong, so I don't want to embarrass myself too bad.
Well, while you're looking that up, I want to address some criticisms because
The Trooper, got it.
The Trooper?
That was the one that I know, like the most, but I don't think I can sing to that, so I'm not gonna.
Well, it wasn't all fluffy goodness for me, like normal. I did have some issues with this, and
like normal. Sherman.
And nothing that affected me as far as like not liking this episode, but a few things were the beginning of this episode. I felt like when we started it, felt like when you're watching someone else's Netflix or something, and then you click on a show that you want to watch, but they've already started, and it starts like right in the middle of where they left off. That's what it felt like with this episode. It felt like it jumped into something that I didn't get context for. Now, it does pick up right where the last one left off, but it was like we immediately see Bucky going down the street on a motorcycle and a bunch of like flag smashers running in the street. And I don't know. I just think it could have been done a little bit better for starting off. This was something I talked about with Dean. And he was like sharing the same sentiment, but that was one issue I had, which isn't a big deal because it was fixed 2 minutes in. But another problem I did have with this episode was the flag smashers as a whole, and this kind of goes in regard to the entire season, is I kind of think they were crappy villains. I didn't like them at all. They didn't really serve a purpose for me except for Carrie? What is her name?
Carly. Like iCarly.
Except for Carly. But other than that, I don't know. I didn't really feel anything for the flag smashers. I felt like they were very unorganized. They're kind of like teenagers almost. Like,
I mean, it is
very aggressive, but I don't know. That was
okay. Can I do like a kind of argument? I'm agreeing with you, but also I feel like it was done on purpose. I don't think that they were supposed to be like main villains, like true villains. They are led by a teenage girl, and that's part of like Sam's speech too. Like literally, a teenage girl, this group of like rich people, and a super powerful alien god, all had the potential same impact.
Right.
So it shows that like these kids were just rallying, like this girl just basically amassed an army across the world of just basically guerrilla fighting and doing stuff like secretly and through like apps. Like literally this girl built an app to be like, hey, join my organization. Like it wasn't supposed to be like this super secret agent, actual soldier kind of thing. It was just people, like regular people who got the super serum.
Right. And I think what I'm getting to is it's the way it was set up is that they have this unknown leader that we haven't seen yet, and then it turns out to be Sharon, which is fine, but it was like we didn't really get to see them until the last episode technically as the power broker. And it was the same thing I had with WandaVision, where we were made to believe that there was it was just like all Wanda, and then they were like, no, it was Agatha all along at like the second to last episode. And then but it really wasn't Agatha all along. It was, she messed with some stuff, but it was Wanda was her own villain. And it was kind of just like, I guess, kind of being misdirected, because I also thought Zemo was going to be the bad guy of this. And so I think it was just a little confusion on my end when watching this whole entire show.
the thing is, yes, it makes sense that people like. I also thought Zemo was going to be like the main villain because he is a character we already know, and we know that he's capable of like pretty much anything. Being just a regular person who's like Machiavellian, smart, and cunning, and like just a schemer. But at the same part, like I don't think this show was necessarily about defeating like a singular villain. I feel like it was setting up characters for later, like setting up Zemo to be freed again and like basically become like go fully off possibly. Then for setting up US Agent, who I think is like not like full villain here, but like he's on that road. And then to set up Sharon and her descent into like villainy instead of being the like sidekick. I feel like I didn't really like that Carly was basically a pawn the whole time because I mean she was doing something, she was trying to do something and change the world, but she was just being used basically.
Yeah.
But thanks to Sam, like what she was fighting for will possibly happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like there wasn't like a villain, not to go full Joker, but the villain is society.
But you're right. It was this show wasn't meant to have like a good guy, bad guy. It was about Sam becoming Captain America,
exactly.
Which I want to touch on as well. I see a new person joining us who hasn't been on the show before. Dark Sage 9117. Welcome. I see you have a long comment here. I'm curious to see what it says. He says, "There's one thing about the Falcon and Winter Soldier I personally was not a fan of." So speaking of some criticism. So let's see what you have to say. I think any MCU movie going forward with multiple characters should have Spider-Man in it. He always plays off each person's strengths and weaknesses. He has a level of charisma and flair that most MCU characters do not have. I do not feel this team worked well together. There was no chemistry, in my opinion, and it brought the series down for me. Well, Dark Sage, thanks for watching the show, and thanks for sharing your thoughts. I disagree with some of what you were saying.
Right.
I agree that I think Spider-Man should be in everything.
Yes, Spider-Man for everything. Sony, now that you made a new deal, please more Tom Holland Spider-Man, please.
Give us all the Spider-Man. Deal, yeah.
I know.
But I definitely think there was chemistry, at least between Sam and Bucky, for the most part. Too. Which might not be what you're talking about, Dark, but I think for me, Sam and Bucky's relationship in this was the best part and was really, really exploited last week's episode. And that leads me into my final critique real quick before you say something. They didn't end the show driving off on the boat.
They were like this close to the boat, so I think you were like
do you want to know how close they were? Last week I said they will end the series. The last shot will be them driving off into the waves. Remember, that's what I said. And this was like the third to last shot was literally the ocean.
The ocean was there and they were looking like right off of the boat pretty much.
They were right next to the boat. I was like, just get on it. Get on the boat.
Good thing you didn't spend any money on them literally being on the boat.
But it realistically, it is somewhat of a disappointment that I had was like we never got to see the boat be finished. It was never completed. And I kind of thought that was what we were building up to. Like we got the title Captain America, and now the boat runs again. But we never saw the boat fully fixed. So kind of wish we saw that.
Yeah. Also, I do feel like the whole relationship with Bucky and Sam has been another one of the main points of the show because they started just with bickering and being like kind of at odds with each other with like a common loss, but fundamentally slightly still disagreeing on like what Sam did, what to do next, and all that. And then you see Bucky getting Sam his new suit, like supporting them, like them fighting together, and like even being able to split up but still be like with that synergy. I feel like, oh my god, this shot is so cute. I feel like them also hanging out in like them very like domestic moments was such a cute little detail. Like it shows how much closer they've grown together, that they're not just work partners anymore, like they had said before. Like they're not just colleagues and co-workers, they're friends now. They're low-key like brothers now, because I mean they hang out with each other's families. Like it just is a really sweet way to
It was.
show how closer they got.
It was.
Not to mention how close Bucky's getting with Sarah. I'm kidding.
Okay, so I want to say one more thing about this particular episode, and then really quickly I want to talk about, like, me and you talk about the series as a whole.
Mhm.
So, will there be a season 2? So, for those of you that are listening or watching the show, I was telling Chris off camera that, and as most of you might know, Disney just announced their campaign for Falcon and Winter Soldier to be in consideration for best drama in television, series in television. And
Yes.
when they did the same thing with WandaVision, it was the best drama for a mini-series.
Limited. Like limited series,
right.
Miniseries, yeah.
Limited, yeah, you're right. And they didn't put that in this category this time. And it's one of the parameters that is like very important when considering, especially with like other things like supporting actor and actor. It's about, they're very particular about that with the Academy and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if they've committed to a season 2 yet or not, but I think they've left the table that option
Like
on
open.
the table.
Yeah,
and
like they can lighter or not.
Right. And so I want to talk about like branding, marketing going forward. If they do it, if they decide to, it's not going to be the Falcon and Winter Soldier anymore. It's going to be Captain America. But will Bucky keep that name, the Winter Soldier, because he also gave up the Winter Soldier?
The Winter Soldier.
So
well, then what
will this new show be?
Captain America
if
and
it's
Bucky?
a season 2. Captain, he doesn't have a name anymore. Just Bucky.
Yeah, Bucky.
It's White Bucky.
Buckaroo. White Wolf.
Buckaroo.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It might just be Captain America series, But I guess we'll see.
Captain America is, and it can be North America and South America. I'm kidding.
But that's something for all of you guys to think about. Do you think there will be a season 2? What do you think season 2 will be about? Or do you think they will just go straight into Captain America 4, which was also announced too, the next movie, the next installment? So we'll have to wait and see.
Do both.
They
work
can.
well
I think
in both
they will.
formats.
But I think my question is, this show, which is it leading into? The movie or the next series? Because they would... Neither of them have been developed yet, in my speculation. And it would be a lot quicker to bring out a television series. But I feel like a movie for this would be in more demand. A Captain America movie. So I don't know.
Honestly, the way they can do it is basically do like 2 seasons movie and then maybe continue more, like another season, and then if they want to do more movies. Because that way they can also build up Eli Bradley, like maybe have like, oh, this is like our intern, Captain America Junior Patriot, and then build him up, and then have the movie and is like, oh, Captain America, Bucky, and the Patriot, and he can also be in both that and the Young Avengers. Because, I mean, you have a lot of interesting characters and you can build up the smaller details of that world further and then blow it up into the movie. But since they have both the movies and the series, and they work really well in both those scenarios, I feel like you can really do it either way.
Yeah. It looks like you have some fans out there, baby.
Well, they didn't say who. Also, that can be plural.
For the audio listeners, we had 2 people say... You're hot in the chat. So, not sure who you're talking about, but I actually have a jacket on. I'm feeling kind of cold, but thank you for your for sharing your thoughts. Oh, interesting. The guy, I mean, well, thank you very much for that. That's the first compliment like that I've received here.
Is it your first comment, babe?
Is it my what?
Nothing. Oh, first comment.
Oh, no. Okay, so, well, I'm sure whoever you are hot as well. So let's talk about the whole entire series as a whole. So for you, if you were to review the entire season, what would you have to say about it?
I feel like there's some things that could have been like either done in like a certain different way, maybe go faster, slower, or fully develop a little bit more. But overall, I thought it was a really well thought out series. Sorry, my cat is grooming herself. Um, I love the character development that the main characters have. I love the introduction of Eli Bradley and Isaiah Bradley. I just think that I I feel like the promotional materials focused on Simo gave us all a very like misleading idea of what the show is going to be.
Yes.
But I feel like he still was a great part of the show. Like, I am so grateful for what we got from Zemo.
Me too.
It's like any Daniel Brühl content, I'm gonna like be like, give me Sebastian Stan, Anthony Mackie. Like, all the actors in the show are so good at what they do, and they breathe such life into these characters. And I'm so glad to see Emphas Ness doing something cool again. Like, yeah, Disney, give her all your money. Like, I don't want to see her die or be forgotten again. Like, damn, okay. The cinematography was amazing, pretty much across the board. I love that it didn't fear getting a little bit too realistic, both in being domestic, but also dealing with real world problems and having these people who we normally think of as larger than life dealing with these things. Because
Yeah.
that's kind of what happened with WandaVision, but in a fantastical way. Because I mean, sure, we've all been sad to lose someone, and we've all been like going through a lot, but we don't have powers. And sure, we don't have like injections that give you super strength or anything, but I feel like it's much more realistic to be like, these people are losing their jobs, losing their homes, being transferred from place to place. The world is kind of falling apart, and people are trying to make a difference. And some people are also doing things that probably isn't the best way to like do certain, like, it's just showing you like the real world through the lens of a Marvel movie, which is a very interesting way to go about a comic book content TV show.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of a kind, and I think it's kind of
not
setting
a lot is fault, but like, I think that it was pretty solid. I really love the show.
Cool. And that's your general review for the whole series?
Like, very generally, yeah. Although the Zemo cut 10 out of 10, the show is a total like 8.
Zemo cut is a 10 out of 10, 100%.
Yes.
So, for me, I'll start with the positives. I think the show was the most grounded out of as far as what we've got out of Marvel recently, and it's definitely this and WandaVision have both introduced a new format to the MCU or media format with the television series, and I think they're going to start relying on the TV series a lot more in the future. And I think someday, a couple of years from now, 5-10 years, we're actually going to see a lot less movies and a lot more TV shows, because the TV shows for the Disney company means a commitment of subscribers and engagement and things like that. And, of course, movie theaters are also in the struggle right now with the issues going on in the world. But for me, the show, it was good. It was a good show. It's a good start. I still consider this the start of the Marvel television with WandaVision, since they were both shot at the same time. I think Loki's going to be the best. I think WandaVision to Falcon and Winter Soldier, there was improvement. And then I think we'll see more improvement from Falcon into Loki. And I think it's just going to get better and better. And I agree. I think especially this last episode, the colors, the cinematography, the acting is superb. They lucked out with these actors. And I think that's the most important part, is that anyone that you can connect with on screen is very important. And the biggest compliment I have for this show is at the end of Endgame, when Captain America gave Sam the shield, a lot of people were like, well, is there going to be like a black Captain America now? Is he going to be the new Captain America? And not speaking on the race point of view, but for people that maybe not wanted the Sam Wilson to be synonymous with the name Captain America, because Captain America should be synonymous with Steve Rogers. I understand that, and I think Marvel understood that too. So they took this show as a way to help people understand why Sam should be a Captain America, and they did a great job because they showed John Walker, is that his name? John Walker being the next Captain America, and we all hated him. And then they gave us a reason, like they gave us what we thought they were going to do, almost not what they were going to, but what we thought they were going to do by just making new Captain America. And then they dismantled him and actually gave Sam, and then gave him like a reason to be Captain America, and helped us go through that journey. And I think that was brilliant, because I don't think the show was necessary otherwise. And that one transition thing with Sam Wilson is what I think made it so important.
Right, because it shows why he is worthy of it, and why he isn't Steve Rogers, but he doesn't have to be. Like, Captain America isn't, it's a title. Like, sure, it is Steve Rogers, and he lived through that whole, like, literally through centuries, just like being the symbol of America. But like, he chose to pass that down, like, and that shows you already, like, they didn't know each other for as long as, like, for that long, but like, he could already see himself in Sam and see the next person to save the world within him.
Yeah, 100%.
Also, I feel like these shows, sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Like, I feel like it's kind of weird to be like, oh, this show is better than WandaVision, and Loki's gonna be better than this and this, because of course there's gonna be like an increment, but I feel like these shows are all so different and varied that sure, there's like a quality or like planning thing like that will be an advantage, but at the same time, like, there is something for pretty much every genre that you'd want. And I love that this is, I mean, Captain America and the Winter Soldier is one of the, if not the best, like, Marvel MCU movie that we've had, pretty much. So it kind of makes sense that keeping the same, like, tone and, like, quality and just making it a TV show that shows why this is worthy of being a continuation. It just makes sense. It's also kind of weird. Sorry, one more thing super quick, if that's okay?
Yeah.
I mean, we've had Marvel TV shows, which is like the most bizarre thing, how this is so different even from that. I mean, we had Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which, I mean, we've already technically had a Madam Hydra in a way, but at the same time, this is so different. And it's just a higher production value, more thought put into it. Like, it's more planned out, and it ties into the already existing FCU. It's a larger, pretty much multimedia universe now. And then, I mean, we did have also the Marvel Netflix shows like Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, and like Daredevil and whatnot, which were also great. But at the same time, like, this is a little bit like, this is the next evolution, it's the next level of it. Like, you can already see, especially with having the actors from the movies bleed into these shows, it shows you like how much they're putting into it. It's not going to be a separate thing that's completely far removed, or maybe like a slight reference here and there. Like, no, this is basically a movie that you can watch across different weeks.
Yeah. The MCU, Marvel Studios, is extremely ambitious right now. They were already being very ambitious with all the movies they were doing. I mean, we were supposed to have 7 movies this year alone, and then they were adding TV shows. And there was something Kevin Feige said back when Age of Ultron came out. He was doing a Comic-Con interview, and he was saying he was like extremely like stressed out because he was working on Age of Ultron, and then they had Guardians of the Galaxy he was working on, and then they were just wrapping production on, I think it was, I don't know, Ant-Man, whatever comes before Ultron. Only 3 projects, and he was stressed out then. But that was then, and now they have like 20 movies going on. There's probably 35 in development, and then they got the TV shows to worry about, which there's 10 shows coming out. I think 12 maybe. 10 to 12.
There's like a bunch.
Yeah, and I think that would be my only fear. I mean, I trust Disney. They're going to give them all the tools they need to make all these things happen. But I think when they were transitioning into television, they were a little bit too ambitious because there is a quality differentiation there, because it is a little less than that of the movies. The care, I mean, as far as like, I mean, they're bringing in television writers and directors and show runners to run the TV division, which I think is it was a good decision. But when you look at something like The Mandalorian, they brought in professional like film directors and film writers, and there's a little bit of quality difference there too. With the Mandalorian is almost on par with the movies, and especially season 2, not season 1. But that's what I was saying when I meant like I think there's going to be a development. You'll see them get better as they go. Not to say like in a general sense, but I think they're going to find their own thing, like how Star Wars has the volume, the little stagecraft technology. They're going to find their own thing that's going to make them different and stand out, which they already do, because it is already better quality than most television shows out there. But anyway, I'm excited to see what comes next, and I think Loki is going to be amazing. And Marvel trailers in general just kick ass, you know. So
it gets you hyped up.
Yeah, they're really good. And hello, Josh Anderson. Don't worry, I see you in the chat. Welcome back. He says, I'm sorry I'm late. I've been busy all day. Excellent finale. So glad you liked it. And Luca says that on a scale of 1 to 10, he gives it an 8.5. It's good to know. It's really good to know. We haven't really done any ratings here, but I don't know what I would rate it.
I mean, 8.5 to 9 to 9.5-ish sounds pretty good to me. Like, it has, like, it's things that bring it down a tiny bit, but not enough for me to really be like I'm extremely happy with the show.
Yeah, me too. So Josh says he hears that they're making a Sam and Steve Rogers series. What? You also mentioned Captain America 4. We did talk about that already, but Sam and Steve Rogers.
Is he doing moon stuff? I saw there was a theory that that's actually what he's doing. I'm like, imagine.
Well, you know what was funny was I imagined it was some point in this episode when someone else said, "You mean he's not up on the moon?" And then I pictured Steve, old man Steve, with white vision on the moon,
right? Like Dr. Manhattan is like
just hanging out. Because we don't know where white vision is.
Right, they're buddies now.
Right.
They're doing a little hot tub in like a little moon crater.
Right. Well, I think that was all I had to say about the Falcon Winter Soldier. Did you have anything else?
Right now I'm kind of blanking out. I think we pretty much talked about most things.
Most things? Yeah, I think the thing I stuck on... For the audio listeners, we were doing the Zemo dance. But anyway, so that was it for the Falcon and Winter Soldier After Show series. We're done. You can go back and watch all the episodes we did before. I don't know why you would, because you've already seen it. But if you wanted to. And in the meantime, until the Loki series comes out, we'll be doing the Han Talks first show, talking all about Star Wars every Monday. And I got a couple of amazing guests coming up that I think you're going to want to stick around for, because that'll be announced this Monday. Actually, I'll announce them this Monday. So be sure to come on the YouTube or the Spotify, check it out, subscribe so you never miss anything, and be sure to rate and review the podcast and follow us there so you never miss an episode. And yeah, that's it. It was fun. I'm glad we did this show. And
sorry that we were late.
Just a little bit. But anyway, thank you guys so much again, and we will chat with you very soon. We can do this all day.
But we'll see you next time.
Bye.
We'll see you next show.
Bye.